Hello everyone and welcome to Sunburned. Albino ranks every currently playable character in Honkai Star Rail from worst to best based mostly on things like visual features and their personalities, the strength of their character, and how cool or cute they are, even the dudes. Kafka and Silver Wolf are not here. I know you can argue they're playable characters in the tutorial, but if I can't warp their asses over here, I don't want to rank them until I can. To be clear, this is not a waifu ranking. There are children present and they're getting talked about. This video takes place during Seela's first banner in the first couple weeks of the game's release, and I don't have 5 of the characters, so I'll be going off what I've seen of them in the story or watching other people play. Let's get it sorted out here. Number worst, Arlen. Arlen is just the most basic nothing nobody in the game. MiHoYo pulled another Shinyan and made their only dark-skinned character someone people don't give a damn about. No one is an Arlen lover. Some people are Arlen apologists in like a, oh, he's not that bad kind of way, but who among you is out here championing Arlen as your favorite character? You can't sell me on your pink-eyed dude 4-star. The only reason his oculars are that color is because he doesn't wash his hands after he wipes his ass and then spends a lot of time wiping tears out of his eyes for being so unloved. Asta needs to find someone more worthy of her affection. She has enough money to buy all his eidolons, but even she's like, nah, that would be a waste. Number 21, Sampo. I promise you the bottom 6 aren't going to be all the dudes in a row, but Sampo is a special kind of annoying, especially for me because I have to use him constantly, as I don't have Bronya and have invested in no other wind units. His voice lines when he uses his ult are so annoying, like what he's saying has nothing to do with what's happening. He'll be like, the customer is king, and for me to betray the king, well, you'll have to make it worth my while. Like, dude, who asked? You're fighting robots shaped like traffic lights, you fucking windbag. Nobody's off to the side before every combat like, bro, what would it take for you to betray your party members and come fight for us instead? He's like, hold up, let me get in combat, and then when I slide toward you with a heart-shaped box like Nirvana, I'll tell you exactly what it would take for me to betray my customers. We're not even your customers. You are the commodity. I bought you with a Star Rail pass and a disappointed look on my face. You belong to me now. The story likes to hint that Sampo has some ulterior motives. I really hope they don't make him like Child from Genshin. He is definitely not cool enough for that. If Sampo becomes one of the weekly bosses, I'm disowning all characters who need his material. Number 20, Tingyun. Nope. This is like the bare minimum effort when it comes to furry bait. While being called Benefactor kinda feels like in the same vein as being called Daddy, I will have you know it is not affecting me. If there exist Foxian beauties, does that make this one a Foxian dumpy? She's also the only 4-star I don't have, and I promise this isn't just jealousy. Number 19, Herda. The reason Herda has so much fake lore is to overwhelm you and cover for the fact that you're basically just dealing with an emotionless kid who acts like it, although it would behoove me to get on her good side because she found the way to reverse aging and I would appreciate that being shared with me when the time is right. Whenever you get rewards in the simulated universe, she tries to give you Herta's bond, and I don't want that. I'll trade it back to you for some 5-star light cones, but I'm definitely not trying to hang on to your bond. Stop giving me free eidolons too. I have better characters to use. Guys, check it out. I have E5 Herta. Yeah, so does your mom, and she doesn't even play the game. Number 18, Natasha. Look, Natasha, just because I need you doesn't mean we're friends. There is a niche that can only be filled by you and a 5-star I don't have. You are my second of 2 choices, aka last place. Got it? Natasha is embarrassing to fight against. If I ever got my toughness broken by a teddy bear grenade launcher, I would die even if I didn't lose all my HP. I would walk off the field, go to World 5 under-leveled, and become Kafka's plaything. No more autonomy for this guy. Natasha's voice lines are creepy, calling everyone child and saying nap time like a psycho. And what the hell is your skill? You just wave your hand like it's broken and I'm healed? Try harder, man. You're the only reason I've cleared so much endgame content, but try harder. Number 17, Serval. I wanted to be on board of the Serval Express, but her constantly being like, you can fight it or rock with it, made me want to rip out my eardrums. It's the worst ultimate line in the game, even worse than Sampo's. It's just so lame and dumb. None of your enemies are rocking with it. How does one rock with giant lightning bolts hitting them anyway? I do like pairing Serval with Japard because she attacks with the guitar and he attacks with the guitar case. I guess he's the roadie. The next banner is going to have a character throwing subwoofers at people and it'll be the wind element awkward somehow. I don't like musician characters in media who will just offer to perform for people one-on-one or in an intimate gathering. That's just awkward. That's so much pressure on you as an audience member to be present and reactive while they stare at you the whole time. She could at least do a gnarly solo during her ultimate instead of just power chords that don't sound that powerful. Something tells me she plays rhythm guitar. Number 16, female trailblazer. I picked female trailblazer and named her Albinette, so that's how I'll be referring to her until her section is done here. I feel like somehow she has even less personality than the Traveler in Genshin. Albinette texts like someone who has thoughts and feelings, but whenever she's inner monologuing about a quest, her voice sounds dead. I actually like her look. The gray and yellow is something you don't see very often, but she's basically a corpse who for a long time is identified by a pipe she picked up off the ground and is very similar to that pipe. Number 15, Bailu. Why do children get to be immortal? It's not fair, you can't even do anything. I don't have Bailu, but I've seen her in action, more like in action, if you're auto-battling. Right, fellas, ayo. Healers do be letting people die out here and anti-clutching hard content, but if you're gonna have a midget on the field, at least this one's healing people instead of getting shot out of a cannon. Number 14, Yang Qing. Yang Qing was my first 5-star on the guaranteed noob banner, and I've felt cheated ever since. He's not bad, I just wanted almost anyone else. We've caught a very mild glimpse of him in the Shenzhou storyline so far, and from what little I've seen, he seems annoying. He reminds me of Xingqiu from Genshin, but not refined or elegant or likable, but I do like using him even though I don't have him built well at all yet. Number 13, Dan Heng. Dan Heng to me is just pretty basic. Zhongli's nephew is out here being the lamest hunt character, and everything he did in the beginning combat-wise, I was like, damn, I can't wait to get somebody better. Then I got Sushang right off the bat and never looked back. Number 12, Himeko. Can someone tell Himeko's rack to settle down? She's not even moving. I am not a Himeko haver, but we all got to use her in her beginning trial period, and watching her drop satellites on people does do a little something for my power fantasy. She should get a new blouse though, this one looks like bandages. Number 11, Japard. Maybe this makes me a nerd, but I think Japard is cool. Your typical Justice for All type, but I don't see a lot of basic heroes carrying around guitar cases and whacking people with them. As the best shielder, he can defend himself against all criticism. I just wish mine was leveled and decked out because he's the most recent character I've pulled. Number 10, Pella. Part of why I wanted to make this a character ranking instead of a waifu ranking was A, to be able to talk about more characters, and B, because I don't know who's a kid and who isn't. It's hard to tell in anime games and media if girls are straight up children or just short 45-year-olds. Half the kids in this game are over 200 anyway, which just adds even more confusion to things, so waifu rankings are dangerous, so I am going to go no further than simply saying I like Pella. Number 9, Bronya. I know it's not pronounced Bronya, but she's my bro, you know? Or she would be if I could pull her ass. My super critter Seela is waiting in the wings for her best support to come turn her into a hyper carry. Or any support really, since I don't have Tingyan either. Guess I'll have to pull Asta out of the dumpster at some point. Anyway, Bronya has a gun, and that's cool. I want to skeet shoot enemies and buff the hell out of my allies. Don't make me wait for the 300 warp crap, just bless me. I've been a good boy. Number 8, Asta. I mean, you could do worse than the richest girl in the damn galaxy. She gave 25 million credits to a Foxy and Beauty online, so you know she's a freak. I feel like she's secretly blackout drunk all the time, because you'll be 3 cycles into a battle and her turn will come up and she'll be like, "Where did you come from?" to the monsters that have been there the whole time. She's cute though. Arlen is nowhere near good enough for her. Number 7, March 7th. At least as long as March 7th is on my team, I'll never forget my girlfriend's birthday, which is indeed March 7th, but if they introduce another character who thought out of a block of ice on June 5th or something, I might be screwed. Please give her a real name at some point. Every time I hear March 7th, I feel like I should schedule a dentist appointment. Call her Beyonce, or Iggy Azalea, or Caitlyn Jenner, or something. But yeah, she's cute and fun, and a much better mascot character than Paimon. Number 6, Xingqiu. Again, she's just short, right? Her info talks about her graduating stuff, so I feel like it's safe, but Xingqiu reminds me of me in the way that she puts very precise effort into just barely scraping by. Squandered potential, crippling laziness, it's all staring me in the face and telling me I need to do better. So I got off my ass and made this video. Did it work? Number 5, Su Shang. Ladies and gentlemen, here are your top 5. I like Su Shang because she's aggressive. She puts her all into every attack and yells at the monsters every time she hits them, and since she can attack like 3 times in a row on occasion when her ult is ready, those dudes are getting quite the dressing down. Su Shang was my first new character acquired from a warp, and I was very pleased about it, even more so than when I got my first 5-star. I would probably call her the best waifu of Star Rail as of right now, but definitely not Yanfei or Ganyu status. Number 4, Clara. All my homies hate Clara, and I allowed myself to be peer pressured into disliking her at first because her voice is admittedly annoying, and they said she was bad, even to the point where when I got her I was feeling let down. But I've been using her and have done almost a complete 180 because ain't nobody out here launching more attacks than this kid's big buff robot Mr. Svarag. When she gets hit, she counters, and if she uses her ult, people target her, she gets damage reduction, and she counters when other teammates get hit too. She is almost never not attacking, and thereby breaking toughness, and thereby doing major break effect damage, and thereby causing major bleed, and all for just standing there and being so punchable. You have to feel bad for Clara because she can't afford shoes, and I would go so far as to consider myself a Clara main. I should probably get her some good relics someday. People say you can't use her with Fire or Trailblazer because of their taunt, but just don't use Trailblazer's skill then. You don't need to. You get the same shield on everyone from doing basic attacks and ults anyway. Or you can put her with Chapard and just not activate his taunt trace in the skill tree. You'll lose access to 3% ice damage and 4% effect resistance. Whoopee! And then neither of you will ever die under any circumstances, while you dish out Retribution on the regular. She works fine with just a healer too, so she's flexible. She's the only person I've talked about actual battle strategy with because I'm trying to make less Clara haters in the world. Number 3, Asila. Great first banner, big claps all around. Asila is a monster on the field, attacking multiple times in a row if she racks up a death count, and with her scythe at her side, call her Diablo cause she's a reaper of souls. She is also a victim of thing I say during my ultimate makes no sense syndrome, but at least she's using a lot of descriptive flowery words. Illusions of the past, pretty sure they're getting killed right now. Quantum butterflies are such a cool concept. This character absolutely radiates coolness. I'm not really into her like that, but she is definitely aromantically a badass. Number 2, Welt. What a guy. If any character deserves to be called daddy, I'm not the one who's gonna say it, but I can point my finger in no other direction. Just a raw, low-key, but occasionally silly authority figure you turn to for answers to all of life's questions. This dude might be imaginary, but my feelings sure aren't. Just kidding, just giving some of you some inspiration for your own fanfic. I wanted Welt the most, next to Bronya, maybe even more than Bronya. It's still a toss-up since I have neither, but every day I feel the pain of warping a couple Star Rail passes into that train slot and watching the train roll by with Welt not on it. One day. Number 1, Hook. Let me start by saying I do not like children, real life or otherwise. They're small and gross and annoying and they don't know things. That said, Hook is the best children, and if I had to have a kid, Hook is my ideal candidate. She's commanding, she's the boss of the moles, she has leadership skills and people still like her. She will grow up to be a competent and powerful woman in life. She can already fight, she's strong, she's super caring and selfless when it comes down to it, like regarding her father. Hook's side missions are my favorite missions in the game story-wise, when she enlists your help to help her dad with whatever, whether it's going to the auction to get him a birthday gift, or interrogating thieves to try and get back something they stole from him. She masquerades as a troublemaker, but deep down she knows what's important. When I set out to make this list, I didn't have a clue who would be on top because I hadn't thought about it with any seriousness, and as more and more characters got placed in their slots from worst to best, I kept looking over at Hook and still being like, well, she doesn't belong here, and she doesn't belong here, and then all of a sudden she was the only one left. I kind of feel bad that she's only level 20, I'm gonna start using her. Well, that's going to do it for this ranking. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm mildly obsessed with this game, so it's nice to make some videos about it. Like, share, and subscribe. Watch all my other videos in between chats with your Foxy and Beauty, and I'll see you guys next time.